He's a fixture in the Charleston community who began his career in television news and is now a spokesperson for the North Charleston Police Department. I caught up with Spencer Pryor for this edition of Quintin Reports. Well, listen, Spencer, I've known you for a while, but you have been a police spokesperson for the city of North Charleston since 2003.
Yeah.
Tell me, how's that going?
It is going great. It has been a challenging and exciting almost 9 years.
Yeah.
And I can honestly tell you, I would not have traded it for the world.
Well, listen, for those who don't already know, why did you become a spokesperson?
Well, as you know,
Right.
you know once you get into this television business, what it was then, we're all on contracts.
Sure.
And in 2003, I was nearing the end of my contract with WCBD. And it was just kind of weighing my options as to
Yes.
what exactly it was I was going to do. Would I stay into the business? Would I get out of it? Would I re-sign with Channel 2? And I interviewed at some stations out of state in Alabama, in Tennessee. And I just thought about it. I was like, family is here. I grew up here, and I wanted to be near my family.
Sure.
So then it was, do I stay on at CBD or do I do something else? And kind of in the process, I had been doing some stories on the police department and
Right.
on the city. And at the same time, was kind of, I met up with the mayor once, and I told him, I said, hey, you guys are doing some great things in the city of North Charleston, but you don't have, anybody marketing the great things you do.
Sure.
Then after that, I met with the chief, and I kind of said the same thing to him too. I said, you guys always get the negative stories on the police department.
Sure.
The problem is you don't have anybody putting out the good things that you do. And as I neared the end of the contract, I got in touch with them again, and they said, hey, come in and let's talk.
Yes.
And we talked, and here I am today. And it's been a good transition.
Really? Well, how hard or easy was it to make that transition from television to the police department?
Well, for me, probably the hardest part was, kind of getting in and making sure that I could get the stories out to the news outlets. And one of the things is we know a lot of times in the news business, a lot of it is driven by the crime,
Yes.
and people see those as the negative stories.
Sure.
So it was, how would I be able to strike that balance to say, okay, here's what's happening on the crime side, but also here's what we want you to know about what we're doing, the community relationships that we're building,
Right.
those type things. And so that was kind of a struggle at first, but the advantage I had was I wasn't coming in as a newbie that nobody knew. Most of the folks, almost all the folks at the television stations, they knew me from either us working together
That's right.
as colleagues or just in growing up. So that made it a lot easier for me to go knock on doors and say, hey, I'm trying to get this story covered. And they have really, really been very good at doing that.
Speaking of television, you started at Channel 2.
Yep,
I
sure
remember
did.
behind the scenes.
Yep, sure
And then
did.
you became the action line reporter.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
then the weekend anchor.
That's right.
Well,
yeah.
tell me, how was your life as a journalist?
It was exciting, it was interesting, and it was challenging as well also, because keep in mind now,
Yes.
for me it was just like I had done years into the private sector and just business management.
That's right.
And I was bitten by the bug, and it's like, oh, I really want to do this, I really want to do it. And I decided, I said, I'm going to take the plunge.
Yes.
So, when I went into it, it was just like, I'd been back to the College of Charleston, took some courses, but no on-the-job experience. So I had to learn as I was going, but I had a wonderful general manager, Bill Evans, at
That's
the time
right.
that hired me on, terrific news director, Denise Vickers, that actually hired me as well also, and then a supporting cast that was in there, anchors and reporters that they were willing to work with me, and a fabulous marketing director, Darla Horn, and she is the best. I have to say that because, Darla literally, when she saw talent and she spotted talent,
Yes.
she groomed you, and that's what she did with me. She groomed me, and she spent countless hours at nights, with me there on set saying, no, this is how you do it, this is how you deliver, and also I got the best of both worlds in learning.
Well, I was wondering what happened to her because I haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah, and last I talked with her, she moved back to Beaufort.
Really?
Yeah. So she's there with family, but it was a great opportunity.
Yes.
And I wouldn't have traded that for the world as well. Also.
Well, can you put on your memory hat for a moment? Can you tell me how many cases did you solve
Oh, good gosh, that.
as an action line reporter?
A lot of them. I'll say that much because I should give credit to the young lady that I had in at the time. There were two of them. Cora Cummins.
Oh, yes.
Cora was the original producer of Action Line when Ted Knight and up to Gary Bartlett and Andrew Spino,
That's
who
right.
I replaced in there, and Cora was the producer. And really, I have to tell folks, all of the hard work, Cora did it. Now we looked good on camera,
Yeah, she did.
doing it, but she did. She dug up the stories and she worked a lot of the resolutions on it. But there were so many, and I think that was the best part for me, was to be able to go to the viewers and to get some type of satisfaction for them, because a lot of it was just a lot of misunderstandings, or in some cases it was just some businesses just downright taking advantage of the consumers, and we were not going to have that at Action.
I knew you.
Yeah, we put them on the spot without
You
a doubt.
surely did. You surely did.
Yeah, so it was a good, very good franchise.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to see it die too.
Yeah.
It just things change, but it's one of the things now they call them On Your Side and all this stuff. But it's nothing like good old action.
Action line, that's right.
Yeah, we get action.
You did. Well, having said that, do you actually miss the television news business?
I do, and I'll tell you what I miss about it. I miss, and it's primarily the viewers,
Oh, yes.
because I go into a store now, and I love it. People just they come up. I had a lady. I was going down. This is a funny story, and I was going down the aisle, and I want to say it was like a store like Big Lots or maybe even Walmart.
Yes.
And as I'm going down the aisle, I would, at the corner of the aisle, I could see somebody kind of looking,
Yeah.
and I'd go down another aisle, and finally I kind of went up to her and I, said hello, and then this lady goes, "Oh, I can't believe you shop in these stores." And I'm like, yes, we are normal people. We shop, we go to church,
Right.
we do everything. But that's the great part of the wonderful people that I met along the way, the relationships that I made along the way. That's what I miss. Now, do I miss the grueling hours? And and here where I'm at now, it's kind of a trade-off. If things are good, you've got some set hours, and you got, but television business, you run it until the very end. The story, from the time the story starts until it ends, and some more.
Yeah.
So I really miss a lot of it. A lot of the colleagues as well, also, but most importantly, the viewers. And it's funny, folks will still come up to me and they say,
Even to
"I
this day.
watch you every night on television."
Wow.
Yeah. And I said, "Thank you so much." And I guess because they still see me at some point in time in my role as the public information officer. But I don't want to discourage them when they say they watch me every night. I say thank you.
Well, listen, do you have any plans of making a comeback?
I don't know. Never say never. I love it. I really, really do. I'll tell you, probably the most part I loved about it when I did, for a short stint, I did the morning show.
Yes.
Well, it was grueling getting up at 2 in the morning to be there but I really loved it because it was just kind of that connection. I anchored with Ben Pogue, was on weather, and it was just, Ben had so much energy, and we just had that connection on there in Meredith Land.
Oh, yes.
We had some great times. So I always thought, I said, maybe when I retire at some point in time, if they want an old newsreader to get up there and read the news and just really, I'd love to do it.
Yes.
Yeah. But I never say never, because you never know where life will lead you. But I'm a firm believer in you follow whatever path that is leading you down.
Let's talk about memory lane. I understand that you're a native of North Charleston and that you grew up on Riverview Drive in North Charleston.
Exactly.
In the Windsor Heights neighborhood. Tell me, how was it like there?
It was really, really good, and I take you back even further, because that's what I tell folks. And folks, I think sometimes they just get it twisted, and they look and they just assume that we all come from these fancy and new beginnings, and I didn't. We came from. I said I know what it's like to not have a dollar. I know what it's like to have a dollar. So I think that's what kind of gets me grounded. I'm from a family of 9. 5 brothers, 3 sisters, and my parents, they're still alive as well.
How did you stand out in that big family?
Yeah, my mouth. Now you see why I got into the business. But we lived in a housing project, and it was I can remember, it was a 3-bedroom housing project. So imagine at some point in time when you had 9, you were raising 9 kids there, but we survived. And the growing up was good. It was great because you kind of always had friends, because with 9 of us, you had to be each other's friends as well.
Yes.
Also, and the move into from there to the Windsor Heights area, it was really, really refreshing. You got a backyard, the whole 9 yards, and the neighbors were just wonderful. So it was really great.
You are also a proud graduate of North Charleston High School.
Absolutely. North Charleston Blue Devils at that time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm telling my age now. But yeah, North Charleston High School, proud graduate of, and some great times there. And my hope is, I try to get back don't do it as much as I should, but try to get back and give a little to the school itself, because I really, really hope that the young kids now
Sure.
will really place an emphasis on education, because it really saddens me to see when you talk about schools like North Charleston and Burke that are
yeah.
Potentially has the potential of being taken over by the state.
That's
and all
right.
and it really just saddens me. So I'm hoping that there's going to be this revolution or evolution of the kids just realizing education is important and really placing that emphasis on it.
So let me ask you this. How does it feel to be on the other side of the camera, giving the media important information?
Well, if you ask the media that question, they'll say they hate me because
You're just doing your job.
That's it. And I try to explain that to them. I really learned a lot by coming onto this side, and a couple times I would say to myself, "Gosh, I hope I wasn't like that when I was on the opposite side." And I don't think I was, because of the simple fact that you didn't have what you have now.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's the Twitter and the Facebook, and everybody wants to be first on getting it on and breaking a story. But I try to explain to the reporters and to the stations as well also, is that for me, it's not about who gets it first and who gets on with it first. It's about us getting out accurate information.
There you go.
And there's been a couple times where we had to step back, and I say we because we pushed it out there because they were pushing to get the information.
Sure.
Then the story changed a little bit as it was developed. So in this day of the scanners, where everything coming across the scanners and everybody wants to be first
That's
on it,
right.
that's the part that I just think that I didn't see then, and it's now, and I don't see it changing. So that's the part of being on this side that I don't like.
Well, you have been on various crime scenes over your past years as a spokesperson. What is one particular incident that stands out in your mind?
Well, I'll tell you, and it's a sad story, but the for me, which it was like, I guess it's you get into it and you just really you walk into it with the worst of the worst happening. But
Sure.
probably my first or second week on the job, and there was a murder suicide, and I had never seen a victim of, and there it was, as my part of it and going out to the scene, and it just, I was taken aback then just to see there was this person that was right there, and that was probably the toughest. But you kind of I won't say get used to it, but you kind of know this is what you're getting into. That was the toughest part. And the most exciting part to me has been like some of the things we've done in the community, where we have a community day, and we have all of the officers interacting with
Sure.
the kids, and I've got some beautiful pictures, and that's what I kind of work when I talk to the officers, and I kind of show them this is what it's all about here, making a connection with the kids and with the community.
Absolutely.
And just seeing them interact with them, those are some of the best days of it.
Describe to me the following in one word.
Okay.
Television news.
Interesting.
The North Charleston Police Department.
Innovative.
The City of North Charleston.
Exciting.
Spencer Pryor.
Motivated.
I like that.
Yeah.
And you are.
Well, I'm motivated to do, and to do what I love doing. Motivated to make sure that people are being treated fairly.
Oh, yes.
Motivated to make sure that the law enforcement, like I always tell the guys, I said, anybody can become a law enforcement officer and enforce the law.
Yeah.
But it takes a special person to develop a relationship with the community and enforce the law at the same time.
A lot of people know so many things about you. But go ahead.
I know. Yeah, I'm with you. Some things I thought I'd take to the grave.
Oh. What is one thing that somebody don't know about you?
Probably that before interviews, before live shots, before speaking engagements, I get just as nervous as I can be, and my stomach's just flip-flop. I just spoke last week at the for the graduating class at ECPI University.
Oh, yes.
Had the entire speech and everything, but it's just the nerves go. And I always said, even when I was in the business, for me, that was the indicator that, okay, you need to have that feeling, because you don't need to go on so confident and overconfident until you just seem like you're not coming across sincere.
Right.
And it just kind of, for me, that those little butterflies just kind of calm me down and say, okay, think about it like Darla would always say to
Oh, yes.
it's like you're talking to your grandmother, your mother, or like, take it down, be natural. And that's that thing about it. People would never know. Sometimes they'll say, oh, you were just so good, you did a good job, and they don't know inside it was just like,
I've never
falling apart.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right, until you get into it. So I think it's a good feeling, and I say, everybody should feel a little of that, so then you just don't feel like, all right, you're in that comfort zone and you're so numb to the fact that, no, I can't learn anything else, so I just know it all.
Yeah. Well, I can't let you go without me asking you this. What's the next chapter for Spencer Pryor?
I told somebody the other day, I said it was what I'd really, really love to do, because a few folks that know me, they'll find me in a clothing store or some mall or something almost every day or every weekend, because I have this passion for clothing and fashion.
Oh,
yeah, so I said in my next life, I'll probably come back as a personal consultant, where I'll go in and I will say all these busy executives and television folks that don't have time to put together a wardrobe.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
come in and I will say, okay, let me lay out for you for the next 7 days. This is what you'll wear right here, and I'll have it all put together with accessories, the whole 9 yards right there. And they just go in and they just pick up Wednesday's outfit, put it on, and it's all put together.
Wow.
So that personal consultant, personal stylist, I'd love to do it in a big city. I'd love to do it with some entertainment or Hollywood twist to it.
Yes.
So if anybody's watching your show and
They'll
they need a wardrobe consultant or a
Yes.
publicist or whatever, look me up.
I'll use you.
But my job isn't finished here in North Charleston just yet.
I was going to say.
Yeah, no.
Well, Spencer Pryor, was so good talking to you.
Man, it's great. I am so proud of you, Quintin.
Thank you so much.
And I big things are going to happen for you. I can remember as a young man, I mean, you're just going at it. And that's the one thing I was, I say to people, follow your dreams.
Sure.
Follow those dreams. And the great things are going to happen to you. You've got good personality. You've got a good heart.
Thank you.
And that's what makes a difference.
And I'm praying to God it'll happen.
It will.
Thank you so much.
All right, man.
Thank
Good.
you. Thank you.